Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. Stand up for your country. Nobody knows how this Iranian thing is going to turn out. So you turn on the television and there's speculation and guessing and all of that presents a big problem for the TV pundits. What are they going to say? They don't know what to say. So they fall back on the cliche, we'll see. Okay, well, we're not doing that here. Any television person getting paid good money to say we'll see they're insulting us. That's what they're doing. So that kind of blather is lazy and condescending. And we will never stoop to that. I will tell you, I don't know how this is going to turn out. It is a military action that did not have to happen. This is an option. And now we're going to walk through that option in the Talking Points memo. All right, there's a new poll, CNN, 1,004 adults nationwide. Now, adults means people who are not actively engaged in a political process. So registered voters, that's a step up from adults, and then likely voters is the top of the line. For whatever reason, CNN just said adults. Okay. Democrat 28, Republican 28, Independent 44. That's oversampling independents, but I don't have a problem with it. First question. What is your view of U.S. decision to take military action in Iran? Approve 41, disapprove 59. Democrats approve 18, disapprove 82. Standard issue there. Republicans approve 77, 5 points down from the Democratic disapproval number. Disapprove 23. So 5% of conservative traditional Republicans are isolationists. They don't want any part of this. Okay? Keep that in mind. It's important when you're evaluating this kind of a public opinion survey. Next question. Do you think the U.S. military action will make Iran more of a threat to the USA? 54%. Less of a threat? 28%. Now, how could it make it more of a threat? How is that possible? They've already pledged to kill all of us, and now their weapons have been degraded, so why would it make it more of a threat? This is what I mean. There's no logic in these answers at all. None. It's all emotion, emotion, emotion. Final question. Do you favor or oppose U.S. trying to overthrow the Iranian government? Favor 44, oppose 56. Why would you oppose that? Why would you oppose the United States helping to overthrow the Iranian government? They're killers. Why would you oppose it? This is, to me, I'm going, whoa, who are these people? And I'm going to tell you who they are. Unfortunately, we live in a world now where people can create their own existence. In a sense, they live in a bubble. They don't go out of the bubble. So in Hollywood, they're all lefties. Maybe in Idaho, they're all righties. They're on the social media. They don't go and get another opinion. They just hear their own stuff reinforced. That's what cable news does. Every single one of them. They live in a bubble. All right. Fact finding? Nah. Book reading is way down. They go into social media where there are no editors. Nothing is checked. Now, I get letters every single day. Mad, crazy stuff. Oh, I heard this. I heard that. A little skepticism, please. It's not hard to get information. You just Google whatever the subject is. And most of that information is okay. All right? But bubble people are taking over the world, not just the United States. So the truth is that since 1979, as I write in Confronting Evil, remember I got the Ayatollah Khomeini on the cover of that book with Putin and Hitler and Mao. And there's a reason he's there. Okay? Because since 1979, Iran has been in business to kill Jews and Americans and disrupt the world. That's a long, long time. And the worst damage they did was in the Iraq War, where 36,000 American casualties took place. 36,000, including 4,500 dead. All right, and then in Afghanistan, it was 23,000 U.S. casualties, 2,500 dead. And many of those casualties were roadside bombs, and those bombs were built by Iran. All right, are we getting the picture here? So Iran has killed Americans. And then we had, of course, the Hamas attack on October 7, 2023, totally financed and armed by Iran. 1,200 people killed, estimated 46 Americans in that 1,200 people dead. And then 12 Americans taken hostage. And this is all Iran. So the poll goes, you don't want the government overthrown there? What? I'm just pointing this out because it makes absolutely no sense at all. If you want to justify military action against Iran, all you do is point to what I just told you. All right? It is a terror state. And now it's being downgraded. Okay. The Biden administration did nothing. I had my staff research it. The Biden administration, according to a number of sources, we did the math, unfroze $16 billion in assets and gave it to Iran. $16 billion. Okay? Where'd that money go? Into nuclear program, ballistic missile program, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, terror groups. That's where it went. This is Biden. Biden do anything? No. Treaty after treaty after treaty, Iranians broke every single accord. And this goes back to 2009 with Barack Obama. You remember John Kerry was the big point man. You know, every single deal they broke. Every one. So it got to the point where President Trump had to bomb their nuclear facilities last June. I mean, this is historical facts. I'm giving you facts. I'm not saying we'll see. I'm not doing this mumbo jumbo. I'm giving you the facts. And these people are horrendous. And thank God 50 of them at least are dead. All right. Now, the administration obviously has to justify its cause to the American people, which is correct. I mean, they answered us, and we need to know why this is happening. Here's what Secretary of State Rubio said yesterday. Go.
The purpose of this is to destroy that missile capability. Why does Iran want that ballistic missile capability? What they are trying to do and have been trying to do for a very long time is build a conventional weapons capability as a shield where they can hide behind. Meaning, there would come a point where they have so many conventional missiles, so many drones, and it can inflict so much damage that no one can do anything about their nuclear program. That is what they were trying to do, is put themselves in a place of immunity where the damage they could inflict on the region would be so high that no one can do anything about their nuclear program.
All right. What the Secretary of State will not say is that the timing of this synced up with the protests in Iran that we saw the last few weeks. Estimated 30,000 dead. I can't vouch for that number. Very hard to get an accurate number. There's no reporters in Iran. But they killed a lot of protesters, they the most. Okay. That's why the Trump administration said, hey, we might have an opportunity here. If we downgrade their weapons, which is obviously what's happening now, maybe the Persians will rise up and throw them out, as they did with the Shah in 1979. If you really want to know about this, you read Confronting Evil. Okay. But most Americans don't want to know about it. They're too lazy to know about it. And I'm sorry to be supercilious here, but it's true. You hand them a map and say, where's Iran? They don't know. Okay, they don't know. And they don't care. And there are going to be painful things. I mean, you wake up this morning, the stock market's down 1,200 points. I hope you didn't panic. Okay, that's all emotion, emotion, emotion. Oil will go up. You'll pay a little bit more at the pump, but this is temporary. You know, the government's setting us up, the Trump administration, for a long slog. I'm not so sure about that. All right, Iran's pretty much out of gas now. Their weaponry is pretty much done. They can't deliver it. 6 Americans killed, but that's not a lot of KIA in a big campaign like this. And I'm watching very closely. I don't see a lot of counterattacks going on. All right, so let's sum it up. The military action by the USA and Israel would not be taking place if the protests had not happened. I think that is absolutely true. President Trump didn't want the military action. I explained this to you earlier. I spoke with him on the phone for a good while, 3 weeks ago today, and he said, I want to make a deal. And I was a little skeptical about that, and I pointed out to him that Iran broke every deal with the Biden administration. Every single one they broke, all right? But Trump wanted to make a deal. Couldn't. They wouldn't agree. So time was right. And that's the memo. If you are stressed out about getting out of debt, please listen to this. According to the Federal Reserve's latest survey, many banks have tightened their standards, which means right now could be your best window for negotiating settlements before lenders tighten up even further. And Done with Debt is one of the best I've seen at navigating debt relief. Done with Debt tracks credit card and loan company behavior, so they know who's negotiating and when, and how to get you the biggest reduction possible without bankruptcy or new loans. Done with Debt helps you through the debt relief process so you can keep more of your paycheck every month. So don't wait for lenders to tighten up their policies. Visit donewithdebt.com now. Talk with a debt specialist. It is free. Donewithdebt.com. Over to Epstein. Now, the only reason I'm doing this story, and I explained this yesterday, is that it's such a farce now. And it's so obvious why the Democratic Party is pushing this so hard. The Americans need to know what the con is. They need to know that this is a grift, what is taking place here, and it hurts the country. So as you know, the Clintons, Bill and Hillary, were forced to testify in front of the House Oversight Committee last week. And here's what I said about it last night on News Nation. Hillary Clinton never should have been called. And that makes a farce out of our federal government to call the woman, whether you like her or not. She was Secretary of State, First Lady, put her in a position to try to embarrass her over nothing. I'm appalled that that happened. But to calling people to try to embarrass them, and it's fairly clear that President Trump did not have anything to do with Epstein after their falling out. Even Bill Clinton said that in his sworn statements. I mean, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? This is a pure smear Trump action, and it harms the country. So on Sunday, there was a column in the New York Post. I want to quote it, a little bit of it for you. It was written by Isaac Shore. And he said, opportunists of all political stripes are using any and every tool at their disposal to make hay out of them with no regard for the victims and their misdirection or the truth. Representatives Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna have become media darlings for their work on the Transparency Act, but their conduct has actually been unbefitting decent men, much less congressmen. The pair claimed to have discovered 6 men likely incriminated in Epstein's nefarious activities in unredacted files, and Khanna went so far as to name them on the House floor. It quickly turned out that 4 had no connection at all to Epstein, unquote. So this is a witch hunt. This is the French Revolution. This is the guillotine. This is destroying people without evidence. One thing you should know is that President Obama signed an executive order saying that if information would be harmful to the public or individuals, it could be classified by the president and the heads of the departments. Now, that executive order is still in play despite this Transparency Act. And that's why these some of the documents in the so-called Epstein files weren't put forth, because Attorney General Bondi, all right, classified them at the direction, I'm sure, of President Trump. And joining us now from Rochester, New York, is Isaac Shore. He's a senior editor at Mediaite. So, has the tide turning against this witch hunt, this Epstein thing, do you think?
I mean, I would like to think so, Bill, but somehow I doubt it. I mean, as long as it is viewed as a weapon against Donald Trump specifically, you're going to see it remain in the news very much so. And I mean, look no further. You just referenced it. Last week, there was this whole controversy over these missing documents in the Epstein files. And it does appear that the Trump administration either deleted or never published them at all. You can, as you said, there might be some legal reason for that. You might question the strategic aim of that, because what happened is it blew up, and you have all these media outlets so excitedly parroting this allegation against the president and saying it's credible when it was really anything but. So I have my doubts that it's going to calm down anytime soon, even though it should.
Well, it's pretty shameful that the media is calling for unredacted files that are fantasy. For the pages that you were referring to is some woman who says that she was assaulted by Trump and Epstein. She doesn't know what state she was assaulted in. She doesn't know how she got to that state because she lives in the South. She says, well, I either got there by plane or car. You don't know how you got there? And then the woman herself was arrested on a variety of criminal charges, right? And you want to put out her statement, her accusations? That's defamation per se, and insane, is it not?
I mean, it absolutely is. I mean, and there's more where that came from. I mean, there's not even, like, as far as we know, Trump and Epstein hadn't even begun their friendship by this time, where this woman is claiming that, Epstein delivered her to Trump to be assaulted. We have no proof that they were even friends at that time. We have no proof that Epstein ever was on Hilton Head Island, where she said she begun her relationship with Epstein, I believe in the 1980s. So there's so much to pick apart about that. But what's amazing is all these outlets have taken the fact that there were these missing files, and they started calling the accusation credible without including any of this information.
And they never explain the classified nature of almost every government agency that has stuff that is unverified. They're not going to release to the public. And that's the moral thing to do. You don't destroy people, all right, with unfounded allegations. I mean, that's what I fear in this country, and I've seen this now over a 10-year period, is due process doesn't matter anymore. The press has destroyed due process in America. You're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty if the press wants to put you in a headline.
I mean, that's absolutely true. And I mean, Trump has been one of the main targets of theirs, but I mean, there's been others. There have been anti-Israel obsessives who have used, Epstein's relationship with Ehud Barak, who was formerly the prime minister of Israel, actually a political rival of Benjamin Netanyahu. But, they've been insisting, because they were friends, that Epstein was actually a Mossad agent. You already talked about Massey and Khanna, who are just using the speech and debate clause on the House floor to smear people. But they're media darlings because they oppose Trump.
The irony is that
there's just so many examples.
The left condemns Joseph McCarthy in the 50s for labeling everybody a communist without any evidence. But, that was horrible, but now we can do it. Last question. When you see a poll that CNN just put out, and most of the people in the poll say, no, we don't want the Iranian government overthrown. There's only one explanation in my mind, and that's stupidity for that kind of an opinion. Am I missing something?
You know, I I agree. I think there are principled reasons to oppose the administration's actions. I personally support them, but I can understand, principled reasons. We're concerned about the domino effect. We don't know, but to say that you don't want this regime to fall, I mean, I think, stupidity is one way to describe it. I mean, I also think there are a lot of people, unfortunately, in this country who share kind of this anti-American instinct and who are kind of prone to make heroes out of some of the worst regimes on earth, some of the worst people on earth, because they oppose America. I mean, I think we've seen plenty of that over the last few years, ever since October 7th. There's people out in the streets on Ivy League campuses. Their disdain for Israel is oftentimes just a laundered anti-Americanism.
I think there's a strain of anti-Semitism in that poll, but not a lot. I just think it's ignorance. So, Isaac, thanks very much. We appreciate the good work you're doing, and I hope we can talk again soon. Thanks again. If you are a homeowner, there's no better time than now to call American Financing to wipe out that debt, eliminate the stress, set yourself up for a strong 2026. The Fed dropped rates for the fourth time in December. American Financing can help you access that equity in your home at an interest rate that's in the low fives. That is a much lower rate than the average 20% or more credit card rate. American Financing is saving their customers an average of $800 a month. There are no upfront fees, no obligation to see how much you can save. If you begin today, might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So please call 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557. AmericanFinancing.net/bill. Let's face it, the U.S. economy is under stress. National debt rising, trade war shaking the markets. And meanwhile, China is dumping the dollar and stockpiling gold. That's why I protected my savings with physical gold and silver through the only dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. And you can do this. Get precious metals delivered to your door or placed in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. They'll even help you roll over your existing IRA or 401k, tax and penalty free. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of 5-star reviews, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust American Hartford Gold as I do. Please call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Okay, final thought of the day. As you may know, I invited Donald Trump when he was a civilian to a dinner in Washington, D.C., sponsored by the Washington Correspondents Association, which is a charity. And that was in 2011. I sat right next to him. And Barack Obama was there, President Obama. Okay, I'll get to him in a moment. So I remember walking in with Trump, and Trump was a celebrity then, but nothing like now, of course. But he had criticized Obama, okay, publicly. And of course, the president did not like that very much. Roll tape.
Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac?
Now, Trump did not like that. Okay? I can tell you. I'm sitting right next to him. But he's going to the White House Correspondents' Dinner this year. Okay? He has boycotted them. in his first term and last year, but he's going. There is not going to be a obnoxious comedian to come in down. The headliner is mentalist Oz Perlman. No idea. No idea who that is. Anyway, I'm going to go too. Independently of President Trump. Okay, I'm going to go because it's going to be an interesting dynamic there. Because Trump will give a speech. And so I'll be there April 25th, I believe it is. Yeah. So, and then I'll report back to you that Monday of exactly what happened. Isn't that interesting, though, huh? I'm not sure whether this is a good thing for President Trump. He obviously is expanding his, he's giving interviews to hostile people. He's taking their phone calls. CNN, which hates him, got through to him yesterday on Iran. I have to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in 3 weeks. The last conversation I had was about trying to get a deal with Iran. And it was 3 weeks ago today. So I got to talk to him about what his vision is for the media and why he's doing this correspondence thing in April. But that will be, I'm a journalist. I have to go where the action is, and I am going to go in that lion's den. I don't expect anybody to be untoward with me. They better not. I'll tell you right now. But with him, with his speech, there'll be a little drama. Okay. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this edition of the No Spin News. I'm Bill O'Reilly. We'll see you again tomorrow.